Welcome to the Books Between Friends podcast.
3 lifelong friends,
one shared obsession.
Books.
From epic fantasy to page-turning thrillers.
We dive into the stories we love
And the ones we just can't stop talking about.
So take a seat,
Grab a drink,
and get cozy.
All right. Well, welcome back, book friends. And speaking of cozy, what's keeping you cozy these days? Let me just tell you. Can I just appreciate, even though we're in winter, can I appreciate, I guess, what we call a Texas winter? Because
No.
what was it today? It was 72 degrees today outside, and it had a slight breeze, and it was beautiful. It was so nice to be outside. Now,
Jen, why are you
knowing that it's
scowling?
winter, I
It's a
know,
beautiful
right?
day.
Damn.
Because I like the cold. Bring back the
So
cold.
do I. I love cold weather, but I was like, man, if this was, late summer, early fall, this is a perfect day.
Yes.
Considering it's winter, I love the cold weather. I like to bundle up. I don't like the snow so much. I want a white Christmas, and that's about it. But I do love winter. So it is a little weird that it's 72 degrees outside. I'm like, yeah, it's a beautiful day. It was nice to be outside, but I liked the weather today, even though it is winter.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was a nice day. The only reason I made the face is because I'm annoyed that it's this weather in the middle of winter. But I do think it was a beautiful day. I had a nice walk outside earlier, so.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded taking kids out to recess if I were still teaching elementary school,
Right.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
So for me, that saying that, it's not a saying, I guess, but when you're sick, it's your body's way of telling you to slow down and rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're taking that to heart?
Yeah, I was sick for almost a week, you guys. And this weekend, when I finally got home on Friday, I think I slept from Friday night all the way till Sunday morning because I was so tired. I mean, of course, I got up a few times to eat and make sure Baxter was alive, right? But,
Right.
but I basically slept that entire
bare
time.
minimum.
Yeah, and I didn't get up to do anything productive until mid-Sunday. And
Wow.
but my body needed it. I was so tired.
Yeah.
I felt so much better after that. I just felt like shit. I mean, because of, Texas allergies. It's just so terrible. So happy. Listen to my body this weekend, you guys. And sleep just kept me so cozy these past few days. So yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been working so hard on your dissertation. I know that's been very stressful on you. So, of course, it was going to catch up to you at some point.
I knew it was going to catch up. The minute work started getting super busy and I wasn't getting a reprieve anywhere, I was like,
Yeah.
is this going to fuck me over pretty soon?
Yeah. And it did.
It happened, but I'm well rested now.
Good. Well, I guess I was thinking about what you guys were saying because I couldn't think of anything earlier. I guess I just recently realized that, so for the past several handful of years, I want to say, I have gotten I guess seasonal depression, not clinically actually proven, but just that low winter feeling that some people get. I've been getting that for the past several years and pretty consistently. But this year I actually haven't. I just actually noticed it, probably earlier today. Actually, I don't
awesome.
feel I usually feel around this time of year, which is not normal for me. So that's nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is nice. I love
It
that.
is all the reading that we're doing.
Must be it. That must be
Yes, bring it on. More.
Yeah.
More. That is the cure.
This is your excuse to go buy more books, Stephanie.
Okay. That's a stretch.
Your bookshelf's no.
Yeah.
No more.
I'm a terrible influence. Honestly, when we
know.
go shopping with each other, we just encourage each other. It's not great.
That's true.
Yeah. Speaking of, I'm seeing, I don't know about y'all, but I'm seeing all on my For You page, all these different indie bookstores are starting to pop up, and it makes me so
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
More and more are starting to open, and I love that. I love that.
That's great.
Barnes & Noble is great. sure, but I do love a good indie bookstore.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's always nice to see.
You know the one that we went to here in Austin?
Yeah, the
I
wine one?
haven't- Yeah, I have been going back. Like whenever I'm in town, whenever like I go to work and I'm like in the area, like I will go
Yeah.
and just go hang out. Like it's so
Yeah.
nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, when you find
was
a
a cool
spot
little
with a good
hangout.
vibe, like that over Barnes and Noble anytime, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Hands down.
Yeah. And the pizza place, I've been a few more times.
Yeah.
That was good pizza.
That was some good pizza.
That was really
What was
good
it called again?
pizza. Oh, Loud? Maybe?
Okay.
I think I just remember it was being so good. And it's right around the corner from that bookstore. So I've been going back.
Awesome.
Hey, I love it. I love it. All right. Well, welcome back everyone to our series on the Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, of course, Brando Sando. So this is episode 3 of a 5-part series. Before we get into our discussion, I'm going to hand it on over to Jen for our standard PSA.
All right, you guys. Quick spoiler warning. If you're listening to this episode, we're assuming that you have read the first 36 chapters because there will be some major spoilers throughout our discussion today. So if you haven't had a chance to read all 36, please be sure to go and finish and then come join the discussion because we have lots to talk about.
Definitely.
And if you've been loving our book chats, we would really, really, really appreciate it if you left us a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It helps more book lovers find us. It helps our little community keep growing, and it gives us more people to talk books with. You know, we would love to hear what you guys think. And speaking of, we recently got a 5-star rating from Lucerny18, and she said, "I love each of your episodes. I'm just starting to listen to them, and it's amazing to be able to connect with you with something as beautiful as the books and the obsession that we share with them." So I thought it was very, very sweet because, yes, we are very much obsessed
awesome.
over here.
Yes, so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for your review.
Y'all, I'm going to sum up and recap what happened in this section. Normally, I give a little bit of a longer summary, but I feel like we're going to really talk about what happened. So this is a more brief summary. And it amazes me at how much happened with not a lot of movement, really. Like, we have 3 camps that
Sure,
we're moving
yeah.
in between and Luthadel, and yet so much happened. So let's go ahead and jump into our summary, then we're going to jump into our 3, 2, 1. Chapters 25 through 36, the political pressure on Luthadel reaches a breaking point, with Straff Venture's army camped outside the city and Lord Set's forces complicating the siege. Fear begins to fracture Elend's fragile government from within. The Assembly, anxious for stronger leadership, ultimately votes Elend out of power, using the very laws he created to prevent tyranny. Elend refuses to seize control by force, choosing principle over authority. Meanwhile, Vin grows more conflicted as Zane continues to manipulate her insecurities, insisting she is a weapon meant for the mist, not a queen beside a philosopher king. Their tension escalates into a confrontation where Zane burns Adium, yet Vin survives through instinct and adaptability, proving she is more formidable than ever. By the end of this section, Elend has lost his crown, the city remains surrounded, Zane's instability is increasingly apparent, and the revolution's idealistic dream feels dangerously close to collapse.
Yeah.
Yikes. That was a lot. So
Like,
we're going to
even
jump
after
right
the
on in.
Yeah, even after the last section, it was like it couldn't get much worse, and then it got worse.
I know.
And then it gets worse. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's a lot to dissect here. So we're going to jump into our 3, 2, 1. So again, 3 things that stuck out to us, 2 character beats that were impactful, and then 1 prediction or theory, or in some cases, 1 prediction and 1 theory. That way we still fall into 1 for each of us. So, and then we're going to wrap everything up at the end of the discussion today with our big question. So, Jen, get us kicked off here because I am ready to dive in.
Yes. Okay. Y'all, the politics are politicking. Like, holy shit. All of my points today that I want to talk about are literally all centered around the politics that are going on right now. As I said on our first episode, I said I cannot wait to see who fucks who over. And I feel like we got a taste of that in these chapters, right? So let's start with the big one. The assembly overthrowing Elend. What the fuck? Like, sweet, innocent, naive Elend.
Oh, yeah.
He is naive, like little naive baby.
I love you.
So
though. I
naive.
still love you.
I know.
Yeah.
I cannot believe, you guys, that he wrote into his own law a way for people to overthrow him. Like, what are you doing? You're too good. Stop it.
At least not yet.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
There was just so much politicking going on with these chapters, and when I was working on my notes, I didn't know where to start. Like, I had started off with this like huge long section and ended up having to like split it up into different points. I was like, okay, that can't just be my one point. I have to split this up into 3. So let's start off with this one about the assembly. So I thought it was really funny that Breeze, like, you got to give it to Breeze to make you laugh, right? But what he said after this happened, he goes, "We obviously can't let them have their way. Why the people overthrew a government only last year. This is a bad habit to be getting into, I should think."
Yeah. Probably not a good
I did
time.
laugh at that line
That
whenever
was
he said it.
hilarious. Yeah. And I was like grinding my teeth at the fact that it was fucking Philin. Is it Philin?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Fucking Philin, who's the one to push for the vote to remove Elend, all because he wants a stupid title. Like, what is this title going to do for you? You already said that you're like earning all this crazy amount of money. Like, now you just want a title, and for what? To stroke your big ass ego, I guess? I don't know. I was so
much.
fucking pissed the entire time. But what I did like, and I hate to say this because I do not like this person, but what Lord said to Elend whenever Elend was talking to him and his manner, like, I thought that was honestly, like, I was kind of agreeing with him on this one. But Elend was talking to Lord said about the assembly and like, why he did it, about giving people power, right? And like why he created the whole thing. And Lord Set goes, "That's the thing, boy. Letting the people rule themselves is fine when everything is bright and happy. But what about when you have 2 armies facing you? What about when there's a band of insane colos destroying villages on your frontier? Those aren't the times when you can afford to have an assembly around to depose you." I was like, fuck, he is so right. Yeah.
This is terrible timing for a change in leadership.
Yeah. So when that happened, I said, fuck, are you serious? Like, just like you said, Steph, like, we didn't think things could get worse, and yet it fucking happened.
Yeah.
Do they really think that that was the best move?
I mean, obviously not everybody on the assembly was worried about like the safety of the city. As we can see, Philin's motivation was to elevate himself.
Right.
And that's why he brought it up and whipped the votes to get Elend out. And then I don't think did we mention this in the summary that Set came up as
That's my next point. Yeah, that's
as
my next
someone
point.
that they're gonna vote on for king, which is crazy.
Surprise!
Yeah. So since you bring that up,
one of the guys
is...
that is besieging the city.
Yeah. Yeah, so since you bring that up, like, that is my second point. And like I said, originally I had like all these things as one big ass point, and I was like, there's just so much to talk about, so
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just
split these things up.
before we get there, I'm like, what the hell is the assembly thinking, right?
Right?
Like,
Exactly.
if you are truly thinking what is best for Luthadel, you are going to, even if it's an ineffective, or you see it as an ineffective leader, you're going to maintain some kind of consistency. And then you can deal with whatever it is after the threat is eliminated. Or if you are taken over, you don't have to worry about it anyway. Like,
yeah, there's nothing to rule.
so yeah, so you're good either way. You can counsel someone that you deem as ineffective, and I feel like that's what they could have done here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But instead, they were Philin, was doing his own, and I felt like when we got a little bit of his POV, he was pretty much like strong arming the other members of the assembly.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it seemed
And
like.
so he seems to be the ringleader, and I just, Vin needs to get a hold of him,
Yeah. We need to use Vin, the right way.
Right way. Is that proving
Yeah.
Zane's point? Sure.
Her particular
But,
set of skills.
I know, and she hates it.
She has a
though.
particular
she really
set of
does.
skills, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was so pissed reading this entire thing. And
I know.
honestly, everything going on between Elend and the Assembly and all the different politics, it happens throughout so many different chapters. You get a piece of this here, and then later you hear about it again, and then later you hear about it again. So it was just so many chapters of politics, and I was just here for it. I'm telling you, I knew somebody was going to do something to fuck somebody over. So here we go.
Yeah.
Speaking of fucking you over, my second point is Philin nominating Lord Set. I'm like, really? Of all fucking people to nominate to be the king of the Central Dominance, you're going to nominate somebody who's at your fucking doorstep, wanting to take over your kingdom. And the thing is, like, when Set got there, he was very brutally honest about his intentions. He was like, no, you know, you should give me the king, or you should give me the empire, because I have an army at your doorstep. Like, what are you going to do about it, basically? Yeah. And so that really irked me whenever that whole thing was going on. And then the other thing that I really, like, just cannot believe the Assembly agreed on is that they're freaking letting him in to the city to have his own place to live at. Like, yeah, just let him on in, let him come live with us. Like, what the fuck?
Crazy.
They're just making all these goddamn poor decisions. It's just so terrible. But what really stuck to me was what Penrod said to Elend whenever he was explaining, like, why he let Set in. And he said, the Lord's ruler system wasn't perfect, but it kept these people safe. We don't even have that anymore. Your ideals can't face down armies. Set might be a tyrant, but given the choice between him and Straff, I'd have to choose Set. And this reminded Elend of a passage that he read in a book. It said, it seems that the rebels found the chaos of transition more difficult to accept than the tyranny that they had known before. They joyfully welcomed back authority, even oppressive authority, for it was less painful for them than uncertainty. I was like, so you guys just don't want to do the hard work, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Well, like, it's that saying, you know, the devil you know is better than the one you don't, right?
Yeah.
And that's just human nature. People really fear uncertainty and instability, and they're in the thick of this with the siege.
Yeah.
And they'd rather go back to a Lord Ruler type system where they had stability for 1,000 years than have to deal with the siege.
Yeah. Yeah, and that really just stuck out, because I was like, you're right. We overthrew the Lord Ruler, but this is truly the hard part. People accepting the changes and accepting what has to be done to have a peaceful empire.
Yeah. Chaos.
To your point, I do think it is a sense of familiarity. But what troubles me is that it is still a sense of familiarity, but like the Ska, like, it's known that he treats Ska worse than the Lord Ruler did. And so, but yet they're still willing to go with it. And so I was like, what? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So I'm wondering, it makes me wonder if if Set might have some kind of soother or whatever. What were the other ones? Like the Lord Ruler used yes, thank you. To maybe place those little tidbits of fear. I feel like Vin probably would have picked up on it, but maybe not.
Vin seems convinced that he's a Mistborn. Remember, as soon as he came into the assembly and showed himself, she was like, she said to Breeze, he's got to be a Mistborn. And Breeze was like, that's crazy. Like, there's no way we would have known. And she was like, perfect excuse.
Well, she mentioned him being in a wheelchair, and so that's why everybody else is saying he's not a Mistborn, because of being in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Vin has pretty good instincts when it comes to that.
She has pretty good instincts, period, I feel like. She seems to just be right about stuff. Yeah, that's true. Not with Zane.
Yeah.
But yes, everything else, she does have pretty great instincts.
Yeah.
But it would make complete sense and we would see that a little bit echoed with Vin's character herself, because even Straff underestimated her. And he was thinking to himself after the dinner that he had with Elend, he was like, she's so unassuming. And what a perfect way. Like, what if Set is placing himself in that same kind of position? Yeah. You know, where people will, you know, assume that you're not really a big threat.
I was in shock that they let him just like take up residence there, and I'm like, are you
that's
fucking
crazy.
kidding me? You're giving him his own castle now. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's threatening your kingdom.
Yeah. They're basically already just handing it all over.
I'm so fucking mad the entire time. I was
know.
like, how could you? Okay. And then my third point goes along with Elend's meeting with Straff. Now, I felt gross reading this entire thing, especially with how it ended.
Yeah.
Just like that, the whole exchange was so terrible. But that, you know, the meeting obviously didn't go as well as Elend hoped, right? Because obviously Straff knew the tactic that he was going to use thanks to whoever the spy is. And so he knew to not enter into any deal with that Elend offered. And he even admitted it to himself after Elend left. Like, he was like, had it not been for the spy and the information, like, he would have probably given in to Elend and his request. So that was pretty interesting to read. And so instead, Elend had to use Ven and, you know, use her strength as a Mistborn and threaten Straff, and that surprisingly worked. So I do like what Elend said to Straff. He said, "You might take Luthadel, but you'll lose it. I may have been a bad king, but you'll be a terrible one. The Lord Ruler was a tyrant, but he was also a genius. You're neither. You're just a selfish man who'll use up his resources, then end up dead from a knife in the back." And that was just such a badass moment. Like, I was very proud of Elend for standing up to his father, because I'm like, yeah, fuck you, basically.
I read that and I was
Yeah.
like, how long have you been wanting to say
I
that?
know, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
But the other thing that we discovered throughout this whole fucking crazy ass meeting with his dad is, you know, the whole mention about Straff and his mistresses. And I don't remember if that got mentioned in book 1 on the Final Empire, but I was just like, this is kind of a
No.
reveal, right?
Well, no, because you're supposed
it
to
only came up in this book.
Okay, because you're supposed to kill
because
them,
you're
right?
supposed to report, kill
Yeah.
any ska women that you're supposed to kill them.
But I think that he was his mistresses are like low-born royals or
Yeah.
something. I remember.
No, they're
Okay.
ska.
Oh, they're ska. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's obviously keeping them around to get all these babies out of them, to have all these elementers, and to basically giving him his own army, and in hopes of getting more Mistborn, which is how he got Zane, right?
Right.
But the thing that really left me like just cringing at the end was that he had one of his mistresses look exactly like Ben.
I know.
Yeah.
That was so gross. Like, and then how he was thinking about her whenever Ben left, or how they all left, and he was thinking about when he like grabbed his mistress, and I'm like, oh,
Ugh.
dude,
Yeah.
you're disgusting. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a gross
And
man.
even his inner monologue during that, and how he was thinking, this is how I'll show my power and dominance over not just Vin, but Elend too. He was thinking, like, he even said in his inner monologue, you know, I can also have my pretty ska that's younger too, you know? So like, it just shows his character. He's just a gross, slimy guy.
Yeah, everything's just a symbol of power to him. Like, he uses symbols a lot. Like, you know, this, don't forget, I'm gonna usher in this girl that looks exactly like Vin. He's like, so gotcha.
Gross.
Or the test on the wall of Luthadel. Gotcha. Like, he loves his little gotcha symbol moments, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Just to
I love
remind
Elend.
people.
Yeah. And I love Elend for standing up to him and for really getting through that.
Yeah.
He was like, okay,
True.
fine. If you're going to kill me, you'll die too. Like, go ahead, kill me.
Right. Yeah.
You know? That was, yeah.
And I think Straff underestimates like that it wasn't just Vin that turned that situation around. Elend was also like picking up on her cues, like, okay, this is what we should do now, you know?
Yeah.
To like turn the situation around.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, they work as a very well-oiled machine in that sense, because
They do.
obviously she wasn't even in the room with him
Right.
when she started messing with Straff's emotions, and he picked
Yeah.
up on that cue. I was
Yeah.
like, that's really cool. That was
Yeah.
a cool moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. So those are my 3 things.
Okay. And just to piggyback off of yours real quick with that last point, is that we did officially find out that Zane spy is the Contra spy, because I had thought that it may be a different one.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
there's
right.
more than one. So
Yeah.
because Straff referred to him as his Contra spy, like, what else has your
Yes.
Contra spy found out? And so,
That's right.
yes. Yeah. So we know
See,
that
I
officially.
missed that part. I missed that whole part. I was just focused on
Yeah,
all
he
the
brought it up.
grossness.
Yes. So I feel like our points are going to overlap just because so much happened, but they're all like the same thing because they lasted a while to talk about. So I'm going to channel my inner Latrice Royale from Drag Race and say that this is far too much. Far too much. I feel like they're about to F around and find out. But I can't completely let Elend off the hook here because he's the one that wrote it into law.
I know.
Yes.
I was like, dude, what are you thinking?
I know.
Yeah. For
I know,
someone who
like-
really knows politics and to have written all of these laws, why didn't you write something in place and we're like, however, if the person who is trying to become king is besieging the city,
Right, exactly.
he is not eligible to run for king or whatever.
Or write something about like if you're in the middle of a siege or if you're in the middle of like a fucking 3-army battle, then you cannot overthrow the king.
Right. Or, even more practical than that, after one goes through a revolution or, a rebellion of some kind, there needs to be at least a year of transition period or like a year and a half or 2 years of transition period. And then you can settle into a new form of government, like a gradual transition, not right off the bat. Hey, this can happen at any point in time. Are you kidding? If I was Elend, I would have made note if I had written that, and I would have made sure I would have paid attention to the assembly and not ignored them as he had.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
that
true.
seems like
that's the thing.
Yeah. Yes, that seems like a huge oversight on his part.
Yeah.
That was a grave mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's why I really can't let him off the hook here. He can still be principled, but like I was saying, you can still be principled, but also be smart. I feel like this just wasn't smart. He was trying to be too bookish in this point, and that's where I feel like his
Too
weaknesses lie.
idealistic.
Okay, but in Ellen's defense, just a tiny bit, okay? Not about the whole writing it into the law thing, because I thought that was so stupid. I was like, oh, poor, naive, innocent Elend, what are you doing? No, about the ignoring the assembly thing. Like, in his defense, I feel like he can't really be in two places at once. Like, he was trying to deal with his father. He was trying to come up with a plan to outmaneuver him because he knows how clever his father is. So, like, I feel like that did take a lot of his time and that took a lot of his effort. And unfortunately, it was all happening around the same time that the assembly needed his attention. So he can't be in two places at once. And, what would have happened if he would have chosen to go to the assembly's meeting instead of meeting with Straff? Like, Straff probably would have done more tests on those walls and probably would have attacked even more. I don't know.
I feel like that's where we get like the right hand in Game of Thrones. Like they take on matters like that in the king's absence.
True.
And so I don't know. For someone that is so by the book in the books that he reads, it seems like this was a misstep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think everyone agrees that it was. But you're totally right. It was a perfect storm of events that kept him out of those meetings. To his detriment,
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's my first point. My second point is Zayn needs to F off. I need him to go away. I need him to stop planting those seeds of doubt in Vin. Now, and I'll talk about it later, but with the struggle that happens with Vin and Zayn later, I'm, cautiously optimistic, but still, Zayn, spread your crazy somewhere else.
Please.
Was extremely frustrated reading that. And I even think I texted Stephanie and I said, I need Vin to stop letting Zayn get under her skin because this is pissing me the fuck off. Because she is taking everything he is saying to heart. And she's thinking about it and she's letting it, fester. I'm just like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
And
even that moment when they were in that meeting with Straff and she went outside the tent but was still listening, Zayn was out there with her. And while Elend was threatening Straff with Vin, Zayn was putting those seeds of doubt into her head. I thought you said he didn't use you like that. Why are we always the knives that they use to threaten their enemies? Like, dang it, Zayn, she's trying to, she's trying to posture, but like Elend isn't like that. But obviously what he was seeing in that moment from Elend was the opposite. So unfortunately,
It's so,
going.
yeah, it was so frustrating to read because even as she said it, Ellen's not like that. I know she
Yeah.
believes that to be true. And it is true. Elend is not like that, but she is not going to believe it after a while with Zane. And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
stop putting those cracks in
Yeah.
her in that foundation. Like it's hard enough for Vin to trust anyone, period.
Yeah.
And then when you bring this into the mix, it makes it incredibly difficult. And
God.
I get very concerned for Vin in that regard.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. Zane.
But at the same time, like, also at the same time, too, like, why not be a badass assassin? Like, I don't see anything wrong with that.
I know, right? Own it.
Yeah,
Own it.
just own
like,
it.
own it. Own that you're this badass assassin, Mistborn, who can also have a soft side for your man. That's okay. She's over here trying to deny her whole noble woman side of things. Just own all of it. Own that you're his consort. Own that you love him. Own that you like wearing fucking dresses, and own that you're a badass assassin. Just own it. Own it all. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And that's what's so
You can do
frustrating
it
with
all
Ben.
and have it all.
Exactly. So if he wants to threaten Straff, you know, and say that Vin is going to kill you, then Vin, get in there and kill him. Like that's what I'm thinking in my head. It's just so frustrating that it has to be that where, you know, Vin is thinking, oh, I don't want to be used as an assassin, but you are an assassin and that's cool. Oh, I don't want to be seen as a noble woman, but you are a noble woman and that's cool.
Yeah, own it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just a little frustrated.
It's a great position to be in.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. And also going back to that, I kind of wish we had gotten like the Straff realization of just what Vin is truly capable of a little later.
Okay.
This was still really cool. Like it was cool to like, oh my God, she's messing with my emotions, and that freaks me out. I was very happy to see that little vulnerability of Straff. I was like, yeah, squirm. But I wish it had come a little bit later. You know, I feel like that payoff would have been a little bit bigger. But
True. Yeah.
I don't know. You have three armies, I guess, can only be outside of Luthadel for so long. So you have to move it along at some point.
Clock is ticking.
Yeah.
I'll talk about Sazed here as my third point.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we don't get to talk a lot about him as much as we did in the first one. And so any opportunity where he does come up, I'm just excited to see because he brings so much lore with him whenever we get stuff from him.
Yeah.
And I feel like that goes hand in hand with, you know, what he's the expert in, which is religions. So we get more of his time actually dissecting what he found at the conventicle of Saran, where he took the rubbing of the steel plate that he found. And I was so invested with that. It was really interesting. But what I found more interesting later on was how he kind of took up for Tindwyl later when Vin was kind of dissing her. I feel like she's come to appreciate her at some point, especially with how this section started when they go shopping with Alrianne. But she was like, well, she's mean to Elend. She was like, Jen, she's mean to Elend. So I don't
like her.
Basically, I don't really like her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She's a mean girl.
you
And I don't like her.
Yeah. He's like, you should be more patient with her and give her more grace. And then that's when we get the reveal about Tindwyl, that she was basically like a birth mother from like the giver. Yeah, a breeder.
Gross.
Yeah. And so we get more aspect because even before in this section, who's she talking with? Is it Elend? And she reveals that she has daughters. Because she was saying, you know nothing about young women.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
She's talking to Ben, right?
Then,
oh, no,
actually,
he was talking to Elend. Yeah.
She was talking to Elend.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
And that's where we get the reveal that she has daughters. And then later, to support that, we get the information that she was a breeder and has all these children. So I don't know. But all of that came through with Sazed back in the picture, and I was excited to see him. What are y'all making of Sazed so far?
Oh my gosh, he's also one of my favorite characters from this whole series. And so I love to see his moments and like what he's struggling with, because he's kind of going through a struggle similar to what Vin is going through, where, you know, he thought he had this purpose and he thought he finally achieved that. and it wasn't as fulfilling as he thought it would be. And like now he's being called to do something that goes against what he's supposed to do as a terrorsman. And for whatever reason, he can't like bring himself to just be a good terrorsman and like go spread religion like he's supposed to.
Yeah.
And he also is struggling with the fact that he like obviously really respects Tinwyl and her opinions of him. And she's, you know, kind of angry with him for not being able to just like obey the synod, like what she said, and do what he's supposed to do. He shouldn't be in Luthadel. He shouldn't be getting involved in politics, but here he is again.
Yeah.
So I always like to see a character that struggles with like very real things, and it makes them feel just very relatable. And I've said that so many times.
Sure.
I love that like one tiny moment where we got a little bit of Breeze's point of view, and he was like he was like soothing to help push them together to finally kind of resolve their differences.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yes, like I think they really need to lean on each other instead of her trying to constantly reprimand him for trying to follow his heart, really.
Yeah.
I hope that happens more and not what my prediction may have been like last episode where I was like, Tinwyl might be Sazed's downfall, you know? I hope they, can.
Well, I think that there's a mutual respect between the two of them because even when she's kind of reprimanding him for getting involved with the crew again, she like at the same time is telling him like you should really be one of our leaders, like people should look up to you because you know this and that, but why don't you do what you're supposed to do, you know?
Well, she sees a potential in him, and you know, she knows he's a great person and he would do a really great job, but that's not where his passion falls, you know?
Yeah.
Before we move on, I have a question for y'all.
Okay.
Where the fuck is Marsh?
Okay.
Right, he's
we
kind
didn't
of
talk
gone
about
off the
that last
grid.
time. He just kind of like
I know.
effed off last time.
So
That's true, because not even Sazed knows where he went.
when I was reading these chapters, you know, because like obviously more things are being revealed about who maybe the spy is. So I was like, I don't want to touch on that yet because you know I feel like we still need more information. But where the fuck is Marsh? I was like, where is he? Like he does not come up in like what 20 chapters since he last saw him.
Since the last section.
And all the Inquisitors. I'm like, what is fucking going on here?
That's true.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that just because so much is happening.
Exactly.
I know. It's just like after he disappeared, then Sazed ran into the Kolos, and then there's like more things going on in Luthadel, and like we just completely skirted that little tidbit, and we haven't gotten back to that. We haven't seen him since then, so I don't know.
I was thinking about it as I was reading these chapters. I'm like, where the fuck is he? But anyways, so hopefully the next 12 chapters we get a little bit more of him because I'm like, he's up to
what's
something.
going on there.
Yeah, he is fucking.
Well,
up
he
to
was
something.
acting really strange. I mean, obviously he was already strange from becoming an Inquisitor, but the way he just like rolled up on Sazed and brought him out to what was it called, the conventicle. And then while they were there, all of a sudden, he was just like, we gotta go.
And then gone, disappears. Like,
yeah, and then he disappeared on him.
Okay.
Crazy.
So weird. All right, so that was our 3 moments that stuck out. Now we're going to go into our 2 character beats. Jen, get us kicked off.
So I'm going to sound like a broken record because I love Elend, okay? So he had a really great character moment, at least in my opinion, in chapter 28. And this came after he was just overthrown. And Tyndall started to say, don't be a fool. And Elend immediately stops her and says, Tyndall, respond to my ideas as you wish, but do not call me a fool again. I will not be belittled because I expressed my opinion. I'm like, yes. I am eating up his growth, y'all. Like, I love seeing him transform into this great, like, I already thought he was a great person, but like into an even better version of himself, you know? So that was my first one. And my second moment came with Orsor. Is that how you say it? Orsor. So my second one came with Orsor telling Vin what he thinks of Zane. So I'm sensing some little bestie vibes here.
Oh, yeah.
In chapter 29, I thought it was really cute and funny that what he tells Ben about Zane. He said several things about him. The first one was, "You shouldn't let that man influence you so, mistress. I do not think he is the person you believe him to be." And then he also says, "I was thinking, mistress, that your fixation with Zane is disconcerting."
Yeah.
And the last thing he says to her, "What I have seen of Zane is worrying. He seems too pleased with himself. He seems too deliberate in the way he has befriended you. He makes me uncomfortable." I mean, someone had to fucking say it. Thank you for doing it, Osor.
Yes.
I'm like, Zit, please snap out of this fixation you have with this man. He is not all that you think he is.
I know. Yeah. It's so funny the way you put it, like bestie vibes, because, last time I was calling Zane a fuckboy, and what do you need the most when you're encountering a fuckboy? You need your best friend to get
You
your
need
head.
your bestie.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
To tell you, girl, what are you doing?
Yes.
She did need that.
Yeah. Well, I hope she
just
listens.
well, fingers crossed. Yeah, she needed just that reality check.
Yeah.
What I love about Orasor in this section is Vin told him that you don't have to be a dog anymore if you don't want to.
I like that.
And I love that, like, huge growth moment for her, for just their relationship in general.
For them,
yeah. But he chose not to. He could have very well have said, I don't know if I truly believe him that it's like frustrating for a Khandra to change shape so quickly, from one to the other. I mean, it could be true, yes, but I think there's a little bit more to it, that he probably sees value in being valuable to her, right? Like, if that's valuable to her, then yes, he's going to do it, because there's just that little kindling of mutual respect here that's being fostered.
Well, and he knows that he can stay hidden in this form, and that he can stay a secret from the group, especially right now with the spy.
And he's more capable of keeping up with her when she's chasing after Zane or running around the city with her powers,
True. Very true.
So it's useful to him.
Yeah.
Well, my two, Vin. Okay. Love her. I need her to get it together. I was like, keep it together. Keep it together. That was my mantra this section. But by the end of it, I was proud of her. Like, she had some hits, she had some misses. But I think the moments she had with Orsur, the moments she had with Sazed in this section, the moment where she got to wear dresses again, and, just be this 18, 17-year-old girl again. Mm-hmm. She got to live in Valette Renault's shoes once more. So that was cool to see. And I just need her to block Zane out. And that's where I got most frustrated a little bit, is because she started letting him sneak in.
Yeah. I do like that she opened up to Tyndall about, like, why she doesn't wear dresses anymore, and, like, kind of just being a little vulnerable with her, with that whole aspect of, like, not feeling good enough for Elend. So I appreciated her honesty, and I hope that that's going to help her keep growing, because she's already made a lot of growth, but she still has more room to obviously grow because she's a teenager. So.
Yeah. So my second point here is that I do love, I mentioned Sazed earlier. I love getting to see Sazed in his element. He loves the research of it all. Yeah. Like, he loves it. And so he was in his room dissecting what he found with his rubbing in the steel plate. And I feel like he was really excited. And then Vin comes in, and he didn't let it show, but I can't help but picture him like, okay, let me talk to you. Like, even though he loves Vin, I can't help, like, I like to picture him just being a little, disappointed that he can't continue where he was.
Yeah. He was in his element.
Yeah.
Yes, he was in his element, and they have a good discussion, but I just like seeing, like I said, I like seeing Sazed. But yeah, it was a small point, but that's all.
Well, I did write down 2 character moments for this time. I haven't been wanting to make any points because I'm scared of saying too much or steering the conversation. Anyway. But there were a lot of character moments in this section, like a lot of Vin interacting with several of the crew members, and a couple of them. One of them I wanted to talk about was in chapter 25 when she was asking Tinwell why she was being so nice to her when they were dress shopping. And she said to her, "I'm not pretending, child." And then Vin said, "Then why are you so mean to Elend?" Tinwell said, "The lad grew up as a pampered son of a great lord. Now that he's king, he needs a little harsh truth, I think." She paused, glancing down at Vin. "I sense that you've had quite enough of that in your life." So this moment between Tinwell and Vin, like I've already warmed up to her because of her interactions with Sazed, but when she said this to Vin and the way that she was treating Vin when they were dress shopping, I could tell that she basically meets people where they're at, and she's really good at judging people and understanding what they need.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's a great character and someone that you would want to have in your corner, you know?
Yeah. I did love that whole first chapter where like they were out shopping and talking and just being vulnerable with each other. Like that was a really great bonding moment for Vin because she doesn't have that. She doesn't have a mom.
Yeah.
She doesn't have other women she can lean on, you know? So I really loved it.
Yeah. And then in that same scene, like while they were trying on dresses, they noticed that there were a bunch of people outside looking into the dress shop, and Vin wanted to hide immediately. She was like, "Oh my God, not these people." Because, you know, they call her Lady Air, and the people who follow the Church of, I think, what do they call it? The Church of the Survivor.
Church of the Survivor, yeah.
They like kind of look up to her. I don't know if like as a deity, but as his heir, you know?
Yeah.
And that makes her uncomfortable. And so she just wanted to like hide from that. But Tinwell encouraged her to go out and like talk to the people. And I thought she did a really good job of, you know, responding to their concerns and, you know, trying to make them feel comfortable, and like the king was going to do everything in his power to keep them safe and that nothing was going to happen to them. And I don't think she thought she had that in her. And if not for Tinwell, she wouldn't have, you know, had that opportunity to show what a great leader she could be.
Yeah.
And then my second thing was in chapter 28 with Ursa. So I just thought this was funny, and also just showed, it was like a moment that showed how their relationship is definitely growing into more like a friendship relationship. But everybody was talking about what they needed to do now that Elend was deposed. And, you know, Breeze and Ham were doing their classic back and forth and kind of derailing the conversation. So, and Vin, as she always does, she was just like on the outskirts observing the whole thing. And Ursur was sitting next to her. And he started joking around with Vin about eating Ham or Breeze because they kept sidetracking their conversation. And he said, "You know, I could always eat one of them if you wish. That might speed things up." And so, you know, just a small moment, and it was funny and it made me chuckle, but I really liked what that, like, that was kind of, what do you call it? Like a landmark moment for their relationship.
Yes.
That he's able to joke with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. And I feel like it was a landmark moment specifically because he was able to joke with her, because a statement like that at the beginning of the relationship, Vin would have been horrified.
Never would have.
And shut down immediately.
Yeah.
But now she's like, "You're funny. You have a sense of humor." I'm like, "Gosh."
Yeah. And like she responded, and like they had a little bit of banter back and forth about it. She was like, "Are you sure you want to eat Ham?" And he was like, "His name is Ham."
Yeah.
And then,
or Breeze, who marinates himself. Oh, yeah.
Who likes to marinate himself. Yeah, that was so funny.
By drinking all the wine.
Yeah, it was really funny.
That was great. All right. So those are our two character beats. Now we're going to jump into our favorite part, the theories and predictions, or one theory and or one prediction.
I like the and or.
Yes, because this time I have an and or.
Okay, so before I share my theory, like I just wanted to share some thoughts again on my previous theory from our last episode. I love that Vin herself started making the same connections that I was making in our last episode about the mist and the deepness. You know, she goes on to explain her actual fear about all of this, you know, like she started taking notes, which I thought it was really funny that everybody was so surprised that she could take notes.
I know. Gosh.
That made me laugh. But she was taking notes. She was comparing how, what the creature was being described, or the mist was being described as, and the deepness was being described as, and she was making all those connections. So I was like, let's go, Ben. But what she told Sazed is this is what she fears will happen. There would be no light, plants would die, people would starve, there would be death, chaos. So she's talking about if the mist continues to grow, and becomes the deepness, then that's what she fears will happen. And that's where it's going to cause thousands and thousands of deaths, right? So that's scary to think. And then she even starts to think to herself that maybe she's the hero of ages, kind of what I mentioned in my last episode.
Right.
The last episode, not mine, that she's the hero of ages and needs to head north to the Well of Ascension. So like she's now thinking of that, and she keeps thinking like, no, that's crazy. I couldn't be the hero of ages, right? So my theory is, or I guess prediction, I don't know, my guess, this seems too easy. Like now everything's starting to tie together so perfectly where she thinks she's a hero of ages and she's going to go to the Well of Ascension. Like, even though I know I said in the previous episode that it was going to foreshadow that Ven needs to go to the well, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. It seems too easy. Like, I feel like if she does go, then it may not be for that purpose. Maybe it's a way to get Ven away from the central dominance because she's truly the only true threat to the other kings, and she's what's holding everyone back from attacking. So maybe somebody out there, don't know who, is going to try to lure her away with this, with the whole like needing to go north to the well, because it just feels like it's too easy. Like, I don't know. Like,
But like, who out there would be trying to distract her like that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I haven't gotten that far ahead in my thinking.
Unless like, do we know, was the Lord Ruler like buried? Like, do we know he's for sure dead? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the evidence?
Well, didn't we see him like missed away?
I thought so.
He not necessarily
But
missed.
he could have
like
become like the mist.
he like got really old really fast and died
I think he
because
shriveled.
like Voldemort.
yeah, he like
Yeah.
shriveled.
Yeah.
But
So I don't
like,
think
what if it's a
there's-
Voldemort situation? You know what I'm saying?
Where he has a Horcrux.
Like he's some kind of out there in some other form or something. I don't know.
That's a common trope in fantasies. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
I'm
I
just
just think
saying like that's not a bad theory, but I'm like, who would it be? You know?
Exactly. Like, I didn't get that far to where I don't think I have enough to theorize on that. I just think it's too easy. Like, the fact that she was like, oh, I have to go to the Well of Ascension.
She started
and-
to realize it too early in where we are in the series. Yeah.
And
Like,
so I'm like,
it's
no.
falling into place too easily.
Too perfectly, because I was like,
Yeah.
even though I know I came up with that theory last episode, now I don't
You're
think
like-
it's right. So something is happening. Somebody needs to lure her away from central dominance. Like, it's all kind of just coming together where like she really is the only true threat right now. So if she leaves, like, everything is fucked up. Like, everything is going to become chaos.
So I'm going to piggyback off of yours because I'm going to start with my theory and then I'm going to go into my prediction. So my theory is, first, was it common knowledge or did I just now realize it? Or maybe I learned it before and like, oh, that's right. Like, now I remember. But that the whole hero, from what I read with Sazed and his interactions, the whole hero of ages theory and idea came from the Terrace religion.
I thought so.
Is that where it came from? I think
Well,
it
because
came
they were
up in the
talking about-
logbook.
It's being mentioned in the epigraphs for sure. I think that what Sazed found part of the lost religion of the Terrace people.
He believes so. Yeah. And then
Right.
Yeah.
but the concept of the hero came from the logbook that Sazed translated in the first book.
From Rashek.
Which Rashek was a Terrace person. So
True.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So-
So I guess that's where it comes from.
yeah, so I'm wondering, so that brings me to the idea of the anticipation, right? We were getting more reference to the anticipation of Elendi, but I feel like whoever they thought the hero of ages might have been, it would be the anticipation of that person. It's probably not as big of a deal that I just made it out to be, but what I'm wondering is if this pull that Vin is feeling towards the north, right, to what you theorized might be the Well of Ascension. Is that pull, like, is that part of the anticipation? Like, are we actually witnessing the hero of ages being pulled, and like that's actually involved in the whole anticipation up to her ascension? And if so, since we don't really know much about the terrorist religion, if so, is it just one person that can feel the pull? Is it more than one person that can feel the pull? So maybe is it both Zane and Vin that are going to feel this pull towards the north? And then like maybe the actual Well of Ascension is kind of like a battle royale type of situation.
Ooh,
Like,
cool.
Like
yeah,
who
right.
ascends?
Who ascends? Yeah, who
Mhm.
proves their worth or their worthiness, right?
Book 3.
Right? So I'm wondering what this pull is, if, and also the anticipation.
Mhm.
I don't think that it's necessarily an integral part of the story. I've just seen it being mentioned more and more as we're going on in this
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It seems to be, what's the word? Accelerating, maybe? Like
Yeah.
she's
happening
starting
more
to feel it
often.
stronger.
Yeah, it's happening more.
Okay, so we know this is happening to Vin, and there's only 2 Mistborn right now that we're aware of. Obviously, there's got to be more Mistborn out there, but in this story that we're getting points of views from, Zane and Vin, do we know, like we know Zane hears voices in his head. Do we know if he's feeling anything like that? I
The
guess
only
that hasn't been brought
thing-
up, right?
Well, the only thing I can think of is that he keeps talking about running away, but he doesn't talk about
He does, yeah.
he doesn't talk about like, oh, because of this pull or because of this. He just wants to get away from Straff and Elend.
Well, he's trying to get Vin away,
Yeah,
and that
that's what
kind
I'm
of
saying,
ties
like,
into your theory, Jen,
yeah,
about
so yeah,
something or someone is trying to get her.
out of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's interesting what I think is going on. He's not necessarily like I think this is a whole other discussion point. He's not trying to persuade her by like seducing her into being in a relationship with him, even though
Yeah.
we do get some of that connotation. It's truly an identity crisis that he's using to manipulate her
Yeah.
emotions. But anyway, so that was my theory. My prediction is that Elend is going to reclaim power, and that's going to be his true test of leadership. And he will have earned that, right? This was the situation he found himself in was great. It was a great learning experience for him, but it didn't really cost him anything.
Right.
But
he
I
just
feel like
stepped into the role. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind
Right.
of happened by accident. And they even talked about it when they were in that meeting with Straff, where he was like, my mistake was not staying in Luthadel to take it from the beginning like you did. And
Yeah.
that was on me. But now I'm here to take what's mine, you know?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my prediction of what's going to happen. So theory and prediction.
That's a good hope for me. I'm not taking your prediction away. Just like I really want him to, but it wasn't going so great. Like people are leaning heavily towards Set, and it's making me very nervous. Like
Yeah.
I was extremely anxious reading these chapters because I was just like,
Yeah.
it can't happen to Ellen, not Ellen.
And it sucks so bad because he was just on riding that high about how he was able to turn that meeting around with Straff, and he
I
was
know.
excited that about the way that it went, and then he got that note like, oh, I've been deposed.
Like what the fuck?
I know he can't catch a break
Shit.
there. Can't catch
Yeah.
a break.
My dude.
All right. All right. So that was our 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to go into the big question. This is where each of us are going to take a round in the hot seat and answer this question here. When survival is on the line, as it is here, do principles, looking at you, Elend, do principles become a liability? Who wants to go first?
I feel like I just really want Vin to fuck shit up like she has been wanting to. So yeah, I think a little bit, yes. Like as much as I love Ellen, I think this is just not the time. Again, I mentioned this earlier when we were talking about our 3 points, but like I hate to agree with Set, but like he has a point. This isn't the time to be building what Elend wants to build. We do that after the armies are gone. We do that after things are a little bit more under control. So we don't rely on our principles right now. I do think it's maybe that does have some liability. Let Vin loose, you guys. Didn't she offer to kill them in the very beginning?
Did she?
Yeah.
I think
Well,
she
she
thought about
did.
it, but I don't think did she bring it up to him?
I'm pretty sure she told
Maybe
Elend.
like as a joke, like, you know.
Yeah,
I
like
think she
just
told
kill
Elend
him.
in the very beginning. She's like, "Do you just want me to go and kill him or something?" I don't want to be making that up, but I want to say she mentioned, "Let me just take care of
I
it."
can see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Steph?
Yeah, I have to agree with Jen. Now is not the time to be romanticizing empire building.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of chaos and they need someone to basically pull them into this new era. And that's gonna have to be someone who's I mean, I think he's stepping into the person that he needs to be to be the ruler that they need. It's just unfortunately bad timing all around. Bad timing for him to just now be starting to learn how to rule properly, and then bad timing for the assembly to vote him out in the middle of the siege. Bad timing for the siege, bad timing for everything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to agree, right? Like, they're in a time of transition. You can't, and, you know, armies are knocking at their doorstep. You can't necessarily afford to be as principled as you would like to be.
Yeah.
However, if someone doesn't set the precedent like Elend had, because he
Yeah.
happened to be a good leader in that respect, right?
Right.
Like he knew how to set the foundation
Yeah.
Right.
of what needed to be built. It just didn't need it right now, but he knew
Yeah.
that it needed to happen. Had you not had a trustworthy leader like that, then it never would have been built.
Yeah.
Period.
True.
Yeah.
And no
Yeah.
systems would have been put in place. So I mean, I give him kudos. He's willing to follow his own system and
Yeah.
set the precedent so that way it can last, rather than
Yeah.
just someone coming in immediately right after saying, nope, that was stupid, let's do this, and I'm just going to take over from here on out.
I mean, I love what he's doing. Like, he is being honest to a fault. I love it.
To
I
a
do.
fault, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I
To a
love it.
fault, yeah.
But at the same time, there are times as a leader that you have to make decisions that are not always the most favorable, you know, and
Yeah.
that really does test true leadership as well, is when you have to make those hard decisions. And I feel like he's not making those hard decisions just yet,
Yeah.
you know?
Even though that's what Tynwell told him that the job was going to require. And
Yeah.
I feel like
Right.
he knows that in theory, but is not willing to practice them
Right.
just
Practice.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. He will, but not yet.
He'll have to.
Yeah.
Well, he started to show that side of him when he used Vin as a threat.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's getting there.
All right. So, you know what we think, friends. We want to know what you think. There will be a poll in our YouTube community that we're going to post. Again, that question was, when survival is on the line, do principles become a liability? So please interact with us on YouTube and answer. We want to hear what you think.
All right, book friends, that was the end of our third deep dive on The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. Let's keep the discussion going. So much happened in these chapters. We really want to hear what you guys think. We are Books Between Friends pod on our platforms. And we just wanted to say thank you for everyone who's been interacting with us, who's been messaging us, giving us your thoughts. We love hearing them. So let's continue doing that.
All right, you guys. So, on our next episode, as we head into part 4, where we'll cover chapters 37 through 48, everything we thought was building is about to explode. Armies are closing in, leadership is being challenged, and the cost of power is starting to show for everyone, especially Elend and Vin. Secrets start unraveling, danger is everywhere, and let's just say the mist is not done with us yet. Trust us, you don't want to miss this next deep dive.